Hi, welcome to another episode of Tuts. In this episode, we're going to cover one of the main three patterns of Node.js programming. This one is the most simple one. It's the callback pattern. In Node, when you are performing an I/O operation like reading from a file or writing to a socket or making a database query, the function you are calling to initiate the I/O is not going to actually return the status or the value that you're looking for. Instead, you have to provide a function that will be called when that operation is completed. One example here is when you are reading the contents of a file into memory. In this example, we have the synchronous version, which actually doesn't work in Node.js, where you're here requiring the file system module and then invoking the read file function, passing in the path for the file, and that function will return the content of the file. And this fs read file is a blocking operation, and so it's not it doesn't work like this in Node.js. The asynchronous version of this will then be to declare a function that will be invoked once the operation is complete. You pass in the function that you want to get invoked, and later, when the read file is done, your callback function will be invoked. So let's see if this works. Okay, so we're getting the file content as a buffer, and if you wanted to get that as a string, so we could do that like UTF-8, but it's beyond the point of this. As an alternative, you could also pass this function inline. So you declare the function inline since you're only going to use it once. And you could even anonymize the function to make it more terse. And this way, you get it. I think in some occasions this way is more readable than the previous one, since the temporal dependence is clearer. So first you're invoking the I/O operation, then this callback function gets called. So it executes on the same direction as you're reading the code. Here you witnessed something that is a de facto standard in Node and in third-party libraries, which is the function call that initiates I/O accepts the callback function as the last argument. So this read file accepts callback function as the last argument. If this read file accepted, and it does accept more arguments like the encoding specification, the callback function would still come as the last argument. So another similar function call will be the DNS lookup. So here we're looking at google.com using the internal DNS module that Node provides, and we're passing in the callback function that will either get an error or the IP address. Let's try this. Okay, so google.com resolved to blah. Another pattern that you may have noticed is that your callback function will be invoked with an error as the first argument if the error occurs. This is also a de facto pattern in Node.js and most third-party modules that use the callback pattern. After you call the function that initiates I/O, that function must always call back exactly once, whether there is an error or the operation completed successfully. If an error occurs, the error will be filled will be filled in the first argument. If not, the first argument will be null or undefined. In any case, you can test if there is an error using a simple if statement like this. Here, we're handling the error by invoking an external function that is not defined here, but we can define it, and returning the value of the handle error. This is like this, so it's more terse, but as an alternative, you could do it like this, or even omit return and do it like this. The actual important thing is that if there's an error, you'd only handle the error and don't expect more, and don't continue, and don't expect more arguments. Because if there is an error, the result may not be there. So you should not expect, just expect the error and handle it, and then return. So I usually prefer this, which is much less intrusive than actually having a big block handling the error. So this completes the episode for today. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching and see you soon. Bye bye.